Hello, everybody, and welcome. How are you doing, Heather?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am better than I was last week. Still have the tail end of the vocal stuff, but other than that, doing pretty darn good. Feeling a lot
Good.
better. I'm just glad that it's the end of it and not relapsing again.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
But my voice, that's just normal for me. Every year, go figure. It says we have four people in here. Hello. Um, so let's see. What was I gonna do? Oh, I don't even know.
Have you typed anything in the chat? Because I'm not seeing anything.
No, I have not. Let me do that now. Hello.
Okay.
Welcome. There we go.
There. Yep. Okay. I wanted to make sure that it was working for me.
Hello, honey. The bargain effect.
And all right. Okay.
Hi, baby. How you doing? Hello,
Oh, yep. And Dwayne. Yep. Dwayne said he was gonna work on eBay while he watched.
What, Tommy? I said your honey's in here talking to you, and Tommy's like, I don't know. He said something slick over here. It's like, not talking to you. I was talking to Heather. Maybe we need to ground them from each other for a little bit if they're starting to refer to each other as honey. He's over there smirking.
That's funny.
Go figure. I don't think we could ever separate those two anyway. How is Dwayne doing, by the way?
I think he's fine. Does he agree?
I know the other night he said he was feeling a little icky, so I just wanted to double check.
And
so he says, "Don't call me honey with Tommy in the room." Duh.
Yes. If he goes too long without his shot, then he starts running down and is like, "Oh yeah, I forgot my shot."
Oh no.
So
the joys of what?
Getting old.
Oh, getting old. Yeah, right. He just did turn 50, didn't he?
Yes. Yep.
Tommy's still got a year. No, wait. How old are you?
Isn't he 48?
He's 49. He just turned 49.
Okay.
Wait, he was born in 71. Somebody do the math for me because I'm horrible.
Well, I am 48 and I was born in 72.
Okay. He was.
I was at the very end of the year, though. That's why I get thrown off.
He was born at the end of the year, so that throws us off. So
he's 49.
You're 49.
Right?
He's like, damn.
Yeah. He's going to be 50 at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Because me and Dwayne are the same age for 1 month. Or 14 days.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you guys are that close?
Dwayne just turned 50, so they're almost a whole year apart, but both born 71.
Yeah, Tommy says that they are for 14 days or a month, or something like that, where they're the exact same age.
Oh, yeah, a couple of weeks there. A couple of weeks. Yeah.
Hello, JRKR. How you doing, dear? She says you guys are young.
And my body doesn't think it is.
Yeah, mine either. And I know Tommy's doesn't. It don't like the cold.
Oh, I so want to get out of the cold. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I swear every winter I age 10 years.
Yeah, that's how it feels here. V. Davies says, dang, I'm a 54 model. 1954, that is.
Fantastic.
Love it. That's great. Okay, so we have a few things we want to talk about tonight, but we're going to wait for a few more people to join us before we do. And I did want to share what Tommy did for me. So yesterday, I made homemade fajita sauce, seasoning. I almost said sauce. fajita seasoning. And so today, Tommy went, let me make myself big again. All right. Made me I don't know, can you guys see that without it being real?
That's pretty good.
So he made me a label for my fajita seasoning container with all the ingredients on the back for me. So I was like super proud of that. So I had to share that with everybody. Hello, Melanie. Welcome, welcome. Hello, everyone. I'm actually up and saw the live show pop up. Thought I would say hello and come on in. Well, come on in. Join us.
Glad to have you.
For sure, for sure. Let me move that over there. JRKR said, so cold today. Hate winter. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Winter is not fun. Not fun at all.
Yeah. What it did a little snow. Just enough to need to be shoveled. That's the most snow we've gotten this year. It's been a pretty light winter that way, but it's been in the 30s, so that's still not bad at all. It's been way worse. There's been years when there's tons of snow or it's down to 0. So what is it? I can't complain, but I do anyway.
Yeah, we got snow over the weekend, and me and Tommy ended up shoveling it because the kids weren't here. They were gone for the weekend. And so let me tell you, me and Tommy were both sore.
And
he shoveled around the vehicles, and I shoveled and the end of the driveway, and then I shoveled the sidewalks from where our sidewalks start, or what we're responsible for, all the way to the end of the neighbor's sidewalk because nobody lives there. They're remodeling it. And so so we shovel that for them, and because Joey mows their lawn during the summer, and so he takes care of the lawn. So during the winter time, I was like, well, at least shovel the sidewalk so he doesn't get a Dwayne, you're sassy, so that he doesn't get a ticket. I lost my brain for a minute because I was reading what Dwayne said. Got to step out for a little while. Be back. Be safe, JRKR.
We'll be right here.
Yep, for sure, for sure. Davey says, we got 2 inches of snow last night. We seldom see snow here. People here act like it's 3 feet. Oh, speaking of, same here. Wisconsin, every year we always get snow. It doesn't matter. We are in Wisconsin, and people drive like dumb. They drive dumb.
Yep.
Like they've
always
never
accidents because of snow. Look at the glare on my glasses. It drives me crazy. I end up staring at it. Kind of mesmerizing for me here. If I got anti-glare glasses, would it take care of that?
I think so, but I don't know.
I don't
have mine on yet, so
I'll have to do that next time around.
Yeah.
But now we can handle around here, there's always car accidents, but people don't really have a reaction to it until it gets to be over half a foot.
Yeah, here they drive way too fast for the roads.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them don't know how to drive in the first place, snow or no snow. So we end up with lots of accidents, people going in the ditch left and right.
Oh, awesome.
Most of the time it's like they get their license out of a Cracker Jack box.
Well, since it doesn't rain here, then when it's really dangerous is like when it's like the first rain after a long time, and then the roads are slick with oil and people start sliding into each other.
Ooh.
But I was in one of the Utah's biggest car pileups a few years back. When I say a few years, it was like a decade ago. And let's see. Oh yeah, it was in 2009, and I've my But I had my dog's urn in the car with me, and the urn is just right there. And so I just looked at the date. Because she had just died, and I was going to see a gal that I knew, and was taking the urn and show her.
Oh, that's crazy.
She was a dog person, so you know.
Melanie said we had 8 inches of snow last week. I don't even own a shovel. It was completely melted next day. Very winter. We were just talking about that too. Me and Tommy were just talking about that earlier, about how the southern states that usually don't, southern and western states, everything, where they don't get snow, but the last year or two they've been getting snow, so it's very, very odd.
And I see I have a question. Central Texas, 2 hours south of Dallas. And then B. Davis, is it Davies? Let's see.
B. Davies is what I say, yeah.
You see, I got my glasses on. I still can't read. I'm asking if I'm in St. George. No, we're in Utah County. My sister and her husband, and then one of her adult daughters and her family are all in St. George. I keep saying I'm going to go down there. Dwayne and I are going to go this May. I haven't even told him that yet. We're going this May. We were going to go last May, but then, you know, with everything that happened last year, and I'm a bit of a germaphobe to begin with.
Right.
And so the thought of being in a hotel, all that. So, but we're going to go this year if all goes well. So, yeah, it's like 5 hours. And, we got JC showing up.
Hey, James. Hey, JC. Yeah, it's... B. Davey says he had to scrape his windshield with a credit card. Oh, dang.
That's awful.
That is so awful.
I can't say that I've never done that, though. You can't find the scraper. And look at,
they don't even sell shovels here, Melanie. Usually no need. And I think he's in Texas too, or they're in Texas too. Because Melanie's like, exactly, no snow, no shovel, don't even own an ice scraper, haha, but gone next day. I wish it was like that here.
Yeah, that would be nice. And okay, so we are exactly 2 blocks from Linden, 2 blocks north from there. So, and Dwayne grew up in Bountiful, and I was there for a long time as well. So,
small world.
We know what you're talking about.
I don't, but she does. Tommy probably even knows what you're talking about because he lived in Utah one time.
I miss being in Bountiful. Utah County is too crowded for me. Not that Bountiful isn't crowded. It's just that I knew half the people there, so it didn't seem so crowded.
Yeah.
And here I don't know anyone.
Hey, Tim. How you doing? Welcome. Yeah, it's people who are getting snow that should not be getting snow makes me leery on if I want to move out of Wisconsin, because our winter this year so far, like the few last winters too, I mean, it's been every year it keeps getting milder and milder. And so and I know that like for us, because it does, you know, it gets cold out, you got to keep your house locked up. Or not locked up, but like everything closed. I know.
Yeah, everything's sealed up, trying to keep it warm inside.
Right, but it affects me mentally.
Oh, totally. My anxiety goes up all winter because I like to go for walks, and when it's below freezing and our air quality is horrible, it's instant asthma attack for me to walk outside. So exercise, going for a walk, forget it. Doesn't happen. So I actually don't go for walks once it gets below 50 because I don't like being cold.
I read Tim's comment. He said watching the light snow outside, but it looked like it said watching the light show outside. I'm
First glance, yeah.
I'm horrible when it comes to like color changing lights and stuff. That's like one of the few things that outside of Tommy that actually helps me calm down.
Oh, I thought maybe you were going to say that all you have to do is look at lights or Tommy and you go into a rage.
No, they actually color changing lights make me happy.
And that's good. That's real good.
Yeah, and so we were, where were we? We were somewhere, and I was playing with color changing lights, and he was like, he just walked away. I'm like, what? And he's like, color changing lights. I'm like, but it makes me happy. That's why
it's awesome.
Color changing candles. I have the color changing LED lights here in the back. It is for me what, something that makes me happy. Oh, real quick before I forget, disclosure. Heather and I are not doctors, we're not therapists, we're not counselors. We are people that suffer with our own mental health issues every day, and everything that we talk about is our opinion. We also show facts on what we find online. Anything you want to add to that?
Just because somebody looks fine and acts fine doesn't mean they are fine.
Exactly. So I just wanted to throw that disclosure out. Heather reminded me I haven't done that in a while, so I was like, oh, I better do that tonight. So.
And Dwayne knows I'm a professional therapy dropout.
Me too. Me too. I'm guilty. But the thing is I just don't get along with the therapist.
I know what you mean.
They don't understand. They can't relate.
Yeah.
90% of them cannot relate.
Yeah. Well, it's just like when you diagnose yourself with a health issue and they're like, well, how do you know? It's like, because I looked up online. And you sound crazy. But no, for me, I'll, before I look up online, I'll just start asking people that I know, questions. And
right.
Like I knew I had fibro. I to the doctor and I have fibro. And he's like, how do you know? I'm like, because I asked everybody I know with fibro what it's like. And then, I don't know, it's rather, there's no real actual diagnosis. It's more of an elimination, subtract all other problems. And if you have your generalized pain and exhaustion and everything that was wrong with you before is even worse. Must be fibro. So
yeah, and and we all can have the same or people can have the same diagnosis. Remember this too. We can all be diagnosed with the same thing, but it's going to affect each and every one of us differently. And that's why we're here. We share what we go through. We welcome people to come on the panel to share their experiences with the things that they deal with. So in no way, shape, or form are we doctors, counselors, any professionals. We just struggle, and we want to make sure that you guys know you're not alone. Hang out with us, and we'll see what we can do as a team,
And hey, Shrinking Sharon, welcome.
Hello.
Glad to have you. He and I had a great chat along with JC on Thursday. We talked for quite a while. It was good. I had fun getting to know her.
Aren't they amazing? Both of them are so amazing.
Yes. And I see the B. Davies. I do miss the seasons from northern Utah. Palm trees don't lose their leaves in the fall. I hadn't experienced a Utah winter until it was 84, 85. Was my I'd been up here in the summers because this is where my parents are from, but I wanted to go back to California. I was like, nope, I'm going back. And I always said I was going to leave. And it's been 36 years.
Yeah.
And I'm still here.
That's like with me. I want to go back to Florida because that's where my family is. I mean, not all my family. Like my mom's here, my dad's here. my dad that raised me, and my brothers are here. Two of my brothers are here, but I know them. No offense if they're watching. I know y'all.
And
I love you deeply. But I have other family members I would love to get to know too. Like most of you guys know my Aunt Kelly. She's a blast. She's a riot. She's her own person, and she is very non-filter. She doesn't have a filter. So and I love her to death. But she took care of me as a baby. And then when I was down there, when Nana passed, she took care of me then too, and so I'd love to be able to get to know her and my cousins better, and all my aunts and uncles that are down there. It'd be nice. It would be really nice. So hopefully be able to get down there and spend more time with them. James said my anxiety has been on supercharge for about 18 months non-stop.
That's hard. That's really hard.
That is very hard. Do you woosah a lot? Just wondering. If not, or if you don't woosah, usually that helps. Or get some color changing lights and see if that helps you too. So yeah, I also have ADHD. So color changing lights is another thing that helps with my ADHD, calming me down with my ADHD. So.
And I'm seeing here that just the time. I hate the time change and the sun going down early. Yeah,
the seasons, lack of sunshine, time change, how quickly it gets so dark, even the idea of having to bundle up, all can affect one's own mental health. Exactly, Melanie. Exactly. And that's the thing. I feel more claustrophobic in the winter than I do summer. And so because of having to get a winter coat on, having to make sure you have a sweater. Although I did get a new pair of winter boots this year, and they're awesome.
You want to know something? I don't even own a winter coat. I'll put layers on, but I hate wearing coats. And I think it's because when I was young, a winter coat was a windbreaker. And I've owned winter coats here, but I just hate them. So I just avoid going outside. And if I have to, then I put on 5 layers and complain about being cold the whole time.
Yeah. That's about how it is.
Yeah.
Like for Tommy, his winter jacket is a hoodie. Is it?
Yeah, that's hoodie. Dwayne. Yep, that's Dwayne.
And his spring jacket. He doesn't have a winter jacket.
And Dwayne, he can wear shorts he can be out there shoveling snow in shorts.
Yeah, I don't see Tommy doing that. You hardly ever see Tommy in shorts.
Dwayne would wear shorts all the time if he could, but he's got to wear at least jeans for work. So
yeah. Jim says, love your background, Daz. Looks amazing. Thank you. I'll be doing this background for a short time yet. And then I think in February, I'm going to do the green screen for the month. And then I'm just kind of alternating with my backgrounds. So, but thank you very much, James. What are you not professionals? I'm out of here. Really, Dwayne? Right. You're sassy. He's so sassy. Dr. Daz, right? If I was able to get myself to where I needed to be, I would have been a nurse, but I'm not mentally ready for that stuff yet. Not at all. Hello, Sim Universe. How are you? I think I said that right. Sim Universe. Okay. Thank you, honey. Hello, and welcome. Let me go back up here because my thing jumped on me. Melanie says, exactly, good word, claustrophobic. I feel that way too, having to layer clothing, but for some, the weighted blankets help. Yeah, weighted blankets. So there's somebody in our community that's son is autistic, And well, I know there's a few, but Crystal talks about the weighted blanket. Rosie's Closet, she talks about her son having autism and stuff, and the weighted blanket helps him. And I don't know. So Tommy and I were at Walmart, and he grabbed a weighted blanket, and he had me hold on to it. I couldn't even hold the thing, so I don't think it would help me. But I do know that it's very helpful for
one. Yeah, for my oldest son, I wanted to get one because I've got. So that's my my future son-in-law there, and then so yesterday, my oldest son turned. You ready to hear this? How old he is now? 28. I have a 28-year-old, and the day that his wife turned 29. So, but and what is I found the temp inversion, so like kind of was so depressing. Yeah, it's so funny, horrible air quality. Yeah, that's where we live every winter. But anyway, so he had asked for a weighted blanket for Christmas, and I was going to get one for my younger son who is on the spectrum. But anyway, I'll get one for him next. We could only find one because they were just. But and that one was just more of a lap blanket size. I'm going to see him tomorrow. He and his wife are coming down here for dinner, for their birthday dinner. So, but I know a lot of people who use those. When Jeremy, I knew something was up with him, as I've shared with you from the time he was just weeks old. And one of the things that I would have to do with him is wrap him up tight in a blanket. And he had his favorite blanket. And I tell you, when that thing got lost, we're still not recovered from that. And that was over a decade ago. But wow. Anyway, I'd have to wrap him up tight and have all the lights in the house off and everybody else in bed. And I would just rock him until he would finally relax. And I was like, this is a normal behavior for my babies. So
yeah,
something was going on.
We had a gentleman or a family that would come out to the campground. And it was.
Yes, Ian's coming for dinner tomorrow night. Sorry.
Oh. We had a family that would come out and visit some friends of ours that was out at the campground when we had it. And we used to have these blue rope lights that went around the top part of our awning. And so everything glowed blue. Well, their son would disappear. Like, he had autism, but he would wander off.
Yeah, our son was a wanderer when he was young.
And
lost him everywhere.
I want to say he was like 17 or 18, maybe. He was older, but he would wander off. Well, at first, when our friends brought them over and introduced us, we had the blue lights on, and he just sat underneath on the picnic table, and he would just stare at the blue lights, and he would calm down. And his mom was like, "This is the calmest I've ever seen him." I said, well, anytime he needs to calm down, just bring him down. We'll turn on the lights and he can sit underneath the blue lights. Well, then he started wandering off and they couldn't find him. Well, he was at our campsite sitting on our picnic table staring at the blue lights. He loved the blue rope lights.
That's wild.
And then our friend, he was security there too at the campground, and he would call Tommy and be like, "Is so-and-so there?" I'm not going to say their names. Is so-and-so there? And he'd be like, "Yeah, he's sitting on our picnic table." He's like, "We are so sorry." He's like, "No, we said that, anytime he needs, to calm down or whatever, he's more than welcome to come sit on the picnic table and look at the blue lights. We have no issues with that." And then it got to the point where when he would wander off, the first place they would look was our camper.
Come check out your spot.
Where he would be.
And hey, Tim, welcome. Glad to have you. How many people do we have now? We've got quite a few.
12 people, yeah.
Yeah. We've only been talking for a half hour, and we haven't even brought up.
I know. We will. We'll get there. We'll get there. JC said I had a drastic dip today, but was able to recover rather quickly. Awesome. Started with anger, then I was ready to cry, and a hop, skip, and a jump over to the teeter-totter of smile and / smirk. Wow. Hey, at least, you're feeling better now, right, JC? I mean, we don't want you to feel that roller coaster anymore. So I hope you're feeling much better and it stayed on the good end. Yep, he said, all good now, LOL.
Good. That's really
That's
good.
awesome to hear that you were able to pull yourself out of there. Hello, Barbara. Barbara said that they used weighted blankets in the schools.
Yeah, Jeremy went to school, to a school that catered to or specialized in, I don't know what form you want to use, but in kids with autism. And they had all kinds of things for ADHD and autism. And Jeremy, he could make it through a whole day of school. And then if he was going to have a meltdown, he'd wait till he came home. But they didn't have troubles with him while he was at school. So that was nice. Those poor teachers in Paris. But
I was
he
like,
wasn't difficult for
who
them.
wants fried chicken? That was so random in chat. He wants fried chicken, and I got lost.
Oh yeah, that's what Ian wants for his dinner is fried chicken.
Yeah. Okay.
I talked to Dwayne about this over the weekend. I am not sure if he remembers. In fact, Ian even put it in the family group chat that he wanted fried chicken on Tuesday night.
It's the same here. Me and Tommy can talk about something over the weekend, and 8 times out of 10, out of 10, I'm the one that forgets what we talk about, and it's only 2 times out of 10 that he forgets.
Oh, no, Dwayne always forgets what I tell him. It's a constant thing.
Yeah. And then they're talking about music, helping soothing the soul and stuff like that. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I listen to music. I listen to music so much that I have music in my head all of the time. And it's only a problem if I have 2 different songs fighting each other. But no, at any random time, ask me, what I have. See, now, actually, I have John Denver going through my head at the moment. But it's
Is that because Tommy's on the other side and it's his cousin?
No, it showed up on YouTube. I'll just, find a song, put it on there and let it go. And then.
Now, do you like John Denver?
There are a few songs that I don't recall childhood memories, but, childhood feelings that go along with those songs. So there's a few songs.
I like John Denver. I grew up with John Denver because my mom was a huge fan of John Denver. And then when I got with Tommy and he told me John Denver was his cousin, I was like, no way, that's so cool.
I remember when he died. Yeah, I do. I remember when he died.
Tommy only met him a couple times when he was real young, but he really wasn't around much when, Tommy was growing up. He really didn't know him like that. But John Denver was his cousin. I thought that was cool as heck.
Rushes with the famous, and we got Perlini. How you doing?
Hello, Perlini. And then Susanna Chronicles is here. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So I think we are going to kind of get into the topics that we were talking about earlier that on what we're going to talk about. So I will let Heather start this out because this was something that she pointed out to me and she knows it better than I do.
So let me click on this so I have my information correct. Byron Katie, who has heard of her? Here on Google. Byron Kathleen Mitchell, better known as Byron Katie, is an American speaker and author who teaches a method of self-inquiry known as the work of Byron Katie or simply the work. And I have one of her books. I have even read some of it. Wow. The book came out in 2002, so I've had plenty of time to read it, but Loving What Is, and is the book I have. Now, 9 years ago, I did a self-improvement course. I've never even talked about that, have I? Do you recall me ever talking about it? I don't. I'm asking you, like after you talk about your crap memory.
Oh, yeah. Well, we talked privately, but I don't know. I can't remember if you talked about it on the live.
Yeah, and I don't know either. Yeah, see, Destiny and I have decided that between the two of us, we almost have one functioning brain.
Yes.
Anyway, so Byron Katie has a question. What has happened to me, for me, because of me? And at the self-improvement group, the building that it was in, they had a big poster of that on the wall. And so I was 13 weeks, right? Yeah, Power 90 days. Anyway, so I would read that every week, and it has stuck with me about what has happened to me, for me, because of me. And sometimes if you just stop and do that, depending on your mood, what you've been thinking about, it'll surprise you what comes to mind. So,
and I put her links in chat. This one is the Wikipedia or Wikipedia, however you say it, link that gives more information on her. And then when Heather and I were talking, not live, 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks ago, this was a website that I found that has 21 of her best quotes.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah.
And so go in, click on that link, save the link, go back to it. There's quite a few interesting quotes that she has that's really powerful. At least for me, there was quite a few.
Absolutely.
I had 3 that really stood out to me on that link or on that page. And so we will get more into talking about her at a later day, but we wanted to bring awareness to her.
And her work.
Yeah, and her work. And, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. We'll try to help you, try to help find answers and stuff.
So we had talked about starting out the show that way every week, of asking our friends what has happened to you, for you, because of you. And if anybody has something to share, we'd love to hear it. Don't worry if it sounds like you're bragging. This is the moment to do that. Brag about yourself. If you did something you're proud of, we want to hear it.
Amen to that. That's what we're here for.
And
for sure. JC says, I have heard of her and read several of her quotes. Actually, I think JC was in the conversation with us when we were talking about it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. And I'm trying to decide if what has been on my mind since this afternoon is it hasn't happened for me or because of me. Anyway, I got word. Now my hair's tweaking. I got word this afternoon that my mother is going to be evaluated for hospice. And so that is something that has been very taking up much of my thoughts today.
Perlini, jumping off topic real quick, Perlini says, I listen to John Denver over and over.
Oh, let's see. We got James licking doorknobs.
Oh boy. Hello, James.
Perhaps you need a little more iron in your diet.
Wait, why didn't I? Oh, hold on. Oh, there we go. There we go. I had to just go to live chat instead of top chat because top chat decided it wanted to stop working for me. Hello, James. Why are you licking doorknobs? And why are you proud of that?
He's got a mineral deficiency going on.
Right? Yeah, I'd be afraid that's... He doesn't know what's on that door handle. You have no idea. I'm dropping her links one more time. If I can do this quickly and spell her name right. Her first name is very difficult for me to spell.
I don't even know how to say that word, James.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is. Wait, what?
I'm reading assassination.
The other James says doorknobs are tasty. Must be a James thing. Yes, must be.
Oh, gross. Gross.
Makes you immune? Ew.
And let's see here. Dad's Vintage Garage. I called the neighbor today to confront them about calling me a mother effing a-hole for considering voting for Trump. He admitted he a cut back on his drinking and apologized. We have to get along. That's good. I'm glad you have found a way to get along. That is what is most important. You don't have to share opinions, but learning how to get along anyway, in spite of it, shows that a few of us are adults.
Yeah.
At least.
Melanie says there was a famous Amazon door licker who spent 4 hours licking someone's doorbell. Ew. Ew. That's so gross. Okay. So Wayne is asking me, so what has happened to you, for you, because of you today does? Oh, so I got... What happened to me today?
Thank you, Perlini.
Was having a hard time doing my decals today. I had 4 sales for decals, and I was having a heck of a time. Like, I couldn't get myself to do it correctly.
Were many swear words required?
No, not swear words. I was just really frustrated, and I had to keep walking away, so it took way longer than normal for me to get them done.
I have to swear when things like that happen. That's my coping is.
And so I had to keep walking away, but I was proud of myself. I figured out, because I thought I had to redo one of them all over again. And so I was very frustrated, but then I figured something out. I could take the part that wasn't working correctly on the decal and reprint it and add it without having to put a whole new one. And so I thought of it, so it was a good day.
That is awesome. Hey, I got my bathroom scrubbed today. Well, I was talking to my sister on the phone, and we were discussing our situation with our mother. So, well, and the person who we talked to who works for hospice, and anyway, we both felt like we accomplished something. It's it's not going to be easy.
Well,
Mm. And well, hopefully the man can get some help with the drinking. I know a bit about the tortures of that, not personally, but people in my life. And it's hell. It is absolute hell. And as I have heard an addict say about about addicts in general, they're a rather unsavory lot. I thought that when someone is in a really bad place and abusing substances, they are not nice people.
Yeah, they're not. I've dealt with them, and I hear backlog or back. For I hear my voice. I did
And
hear my voice.
so for Dad's vintage, for both my grandparents, as well as my stepmom, that with my I don't know, I never called her my stepmom before. My dad's second wife, she went on hospice. One of my sisters was there with my dad, and then my grandpa ended up going into a center. This was nearly 20 years ago for my grandpa, and then nearly a decade ago for my grandma. She was at home in hospice, came there, and we were with her in her last, more than just that, but I was there with her when she passed. And the hospice people, they are just, they're very caring, and, they keep you kind of steady. And it sounds really weird. I've said it before. It does sound weird to say it, but my grandma's passing was actually a moment that I considered a perfect moment in my life, because I was just so happy for her to move on, and I had already accepted it. And so I didn't go through a great grieving process. We'll see with my mom. It was 5 years last week since my dad died, but very different relationship with him than my grandma or my mother. I don't know, with each passing person, the sadness that comes from that is different for each person. You feel a different form of sadness for everyone in your life that does die. And it's nothing you can even explain. Just part of life that we all experience, and you hope to never get used to it.
I've only experienced it once, and that was with my Nana. And it was hard to, when we went in, they warned us about all the stuff that was going to happen. They gave us a booklet. Hey, Aunt Kelly. And we were told, everything that she was going through was the normal process.
Yeah.
But it was so hard to deal with, and mentally it was draining. It really was.
Yeah, but I can't say that it wasn't draining with my grandma. I just was ready for her,
Mm-hmm.
And because I knew she was ready. She actually had told me 4 weeks to the day that she was ready to go. And so we called in hospice, and they're like, okay, what medication do we need to take her off of? And we're like, well, she's on some high blood pressure medication and Synthroid. And they're like, that's it? And we're like, that's how she made it to her 90s. That's because that was all the medication she was on. And she was on pain patches, but they didn't work because she was so thin, because it has to absorb into the fat. And so that she didn't have enough fat on her for that to be effective. But when you're in your 90s, Dwayne's grandma did the same thing. When they were ready to go, they announced it to the family, hey, I'm ready to go, and just weeks. And they were gone. They both had strong religious beliefs, as well as husband, children on the other side for both of them. And I think that makes a huge difference, too.
Yeah. Well, Kelly said, why do you always have me come in when you start talking about mom, which is my Nana? I don't know, Aunt Kelly. It's really Nana. must be around you, and I don't know. I
Maybe.
really
Yeah.
don't know. It is strange though when I start, because I love my Nana. My Nana, you know, I don't remember a whole lot from when I was young, but I talked to my Nana a lot on the phone, and um, there were days that I'd talk to her and time and be like, didn't even know that I talked to her, because I just go somewhere else. It was just me and Nana time, and my Nana took care of my cousin Corey, and that was her life for a very, very long time. And so, I'm trying to think. Um, Aunt Kelly was Poppy the one that passed away first, and then I think Poppy passed away, which was her husband, and then shortly after that, my cousin Corey passed away, and then I don't remember if it was a year or two after my cousin Corey passed away is when my Nana passed away. I can't remember. But it was crazy because I remember my cousin Corey. Me and my cousin Corey were very close. And then I remember Poppy, but I don't remember a whole lot about my Poppy. And then Nana, I remember Nana, but I don't remember everything when it comes to my Nana. And so
she told you that dad then mom.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason I thought that Poppy passed away first, and then this is what I was told. Poppy passed away first, and then Corey passed away because of a broken heart. And then because Nana passed away because she no longer was taking care of Corey and she was tired and it was her time to go. That's what I was told. I don't know exactly how the order was. So I'm taking it, maybe that's something that somebody told me to make me feel better. And so that's why I feel that, going to Florida, being in Florida and getting to know the rest of my family is so important, because I feel that family is very important. I really do. Hello, Craig. Welcome. Thank you.
Did you read what Dad's vintage said about, I want my mom to go on hospice so I can visit her. I have not hugged her since last March. I'm guessing that she's in a home. And that's, yeah. My mom, her second husband takes care of her. He's got his own problems, so we're just concerned overall. My mom doesn't know what's going on, and my stepfather is not cooperative, and it has all been messy, and I'm afraid it's only going to get worse. Right. It is going to get worse. I know it will. And, we've had to wait for him to agree to let, for help. And he hasn't even let us help. And he changes their phone number every so often, and then we don't know how to get a hold of them. And until he emails my, my sister wrote emailing, so there's that. But as far as, calling to get caught up, the whole thing is just weird. I'm just going to lump it under weird. So, because he believes a lot of things that aren't true, and it makes it hard.
Yeah, my friends, yes, family is important, but this side is crazy. Stay happy where you are. That's the thing. I want to be with my family no matter how crazy and wacky they can be. They're my family, they're my blood, and that's important to me.
And I don't really, so I was close with, my grandma and grandpa, who I'll talk about, that was my mom's mom, and my step grandpa. They got married when I was little, but he was just grandpa. And then I've never really known, I know who my cousins are on that side, never really known them. But on my dad's side, his mom died when I was young. His dad died when I was a teenager. That was Grandpa Lefevre. And I know those cousins, all varying degrees, but some of them pretty well. And there's Lefevre family reunions every other year. I don't really enjoy hanging out in dirt, so I'll go for an afternoon, but I don't think I'm going to go this year. It's a big production to go sit in dirt and talk to my cousins. I'm like, why don't we just, they're campers and they all have these expensive setups. I'm like, I don't eat, sleep, or shit in dirt. The end. And they're like, you can stay in a motel in town. And I'm like, why would I go sleep in a motel? As you can tell, I am not a world traveler. If I'm going to stay in a motel somewhere, it's because I'm on somewhere, not just to the other side of the valley. And because it takes an hour to get there, it's like I'm not, or probably now an hour. I don't know, hour and a half. I'm not overly cooperative. I just like to do my thing in my own space, in my own speed. And they're like, you got to get her early. And I'm like, I don't get up early. Show up, I show up. Don't count on me for anything.
That's usually the only time I get up early is when we're camping.
And then religion and politics hasn't been an issue, which is good. And, let's hope it stays that way. Because there are those who are more conservative than others in, politically, religiously, however you do it, look at it. And but I guess
you don't like camping.
I refuse to camp. I hate it. Mere thought of it, awful. I have no idea why people want to spend lots of money so they can live like they're homeless.
I love camping.
I'll just stay at home with my comfortable bed. And I don't even see the purpose of a cabin unless it's somewhere cool. And I'm like, so you pack up your crap from the house you live in all the time to go hang out in the house you'd rarely live in? And it's the same place every time because, cabin doesn't move. Yeah, I don't really understand cabins either. Glamping, perhaps some glamping. Flushable toilets, daily showers, good food to eat, another thing with camping is everybody tends to eat meat for every meal. And I don't eat that much meat because, everybody's cooking the meat over the fire. And I'm just like, what?
I make everybody else's food when we're camping. I like camping because, we have glam camping, I guess you can say.
Yeah, glamping.
Pop-up,
doing the glamping. That's kind of in between an RV and a tent. They're doing the pop-up tent. And Dwayne can't camp anymore because he's got to have his oxygen. So.
Well, our pop-up has plug-ins. Just go plug it in and.
And yeah, he could do that, as long as there's electricity. But and then his parents have a cabin, and the first time when they asked us to, told us we could go up there and stay, and they have, I guess they got bigger beds, but it was full-size beds. I'm not going to go sleep in my in-laws' bed. And the other rooms had full-size bed. And I'm like, okay, look at me, look at Dwayne. Do we fit in a full-size bed? No.
So in our camper, because we're redoing our pop-up. And the first night we actually went camping in it, I toss and turn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I kept moving. I kept tossing and turning, and he thought that I was going to flip the the pop-up boat. Because when I move, I guess I'm heavy when I land. 'Cause I don't know. So I was shaking the pop-up. So now I get the fold-down table that turns into a bed until we get to the part where we can reinforce the bars for the pull-out beds in the pop-up.
Well, I can't even go very long without my laptop. So, yeah.
Last time we went,
Communing with nature, I can do for like a couple of hours and then I'm good.
yeah, where we've been going, to kind of get our bearings again with
I'm
camping.
looking at what Perlini said. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I saw that.
Didn't mind eating, sleepy, and crapping in dirt when I was young. I didn't even like it then. I've never.
That's funny.
Even as a kid, I was like camping. No.
Yeah. So when we went this last time, we had the laptop and stuff because we record for the Ventures on the Cheap channel that we have, and so we get a lot of footage. We have to take it off. We have to, off the phones, off the cameras and stuff, and put them on the laptop. Well, we decided to pay the $3 for the whole weekend for internet. Well, good thing we did because it rained on us. And so I think 2 days out of the whole weekend, it rained. So we watched Netflix because we couldn't really do much of anything else. Although Tommy did go into the boat with the kid's biological father and was trying to flip him out of the boat. I have that recorded. It is on the channel. It's funny as heck, and it was raining.
Yeah, Barbara having to crawl into a tent. Oh, yeah. No.
Okay, so the next topic, I'm going to share the link here in a second, and it was brought to my attention. And so we are going to spend some time talking about it at a later date as well. I have notes. But I wanted to, share this with you guys because, well, it was shared with me. It is from the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And they have what they call Project 2025. And so what they're trying to do, and I haven't gone through it all yet, but I wanted to share it with you guys, and I will be dropping the link here in a second, is their intention is to reduce the annual rate of suicide in the United States by 20% by 2025.
That's huge.
It is huge.
That is.
So for anybody out there that wants to share the link, make awareness of it and stuff like that, that would be great. But I'm going to do some more research on this, and I want to actually focus on it one of these weeks in the future for bringing awareness to it. I mean, Monday, one of the main reasons why I switched my show or my thing to Monday nights is because of the suicide rate on Monday evenings. It's the highest between 8 and 9, and I wanted to try to prevent as many as I could. And so I think the person that sent me the information, they didn't say if I could say who it was or not. So I'm not going to mention names unless they say it's okay. But I really want to get into that. And September is Suicide Awareness Month, Suicide Prevention Month.
Awareness.
Yeah, it's awareness. And so in September, we're going to really focus specifically on that topic. And so
Wayne needs to come feed his dog, Dr. Pacey.
And so I'm going to copy this. Oops. What are you doing, Tommy?
So we've been here for an hour. We've covered hating winter and hating camping.
Yep. We shared Brian Katie, however you say
Byron.
it, Byron
Byron.
Katie,
Yeah.
quotes and information on her. We did the suicide prevention. And so we're going to open up the floor. What are you doing, Thomas? That doesn't mean to dance. Oh, Lord. Anyway, sorry. Hi, Funky Fluffy. Hello, hello. So we're going to open up the floor for anybody who would like, has any questions, wants to share. That's what we're here for. So, Derek Harris said, sorry, had to say, why do those air mattresses always deflate?
Every time. Yeah, and they get a hole in them, and there you are with the duct tape, and
duct tape, super glue. Hope you got the right hole and there's not any more. That's my experience. I've always ended up and then you just super glue your hands to the mattress. I've done that. Not
or anything else you ever use super glue for, and then you're getting out the acetone.
And then you're trying to not take the mattress away. Oh yeah, it's a whole different world. That's why I'm not allowed to do a lot of things when it comes to fixing stuff. Cause I always end up doing something messed up.
And
although I did make Mr. Pickles a perch, and I did not hurt myself. That was the first time. And then this summer, I'm making the birds an aviary, a homemade aviary, and so we'll see how that turns out. Because, yeah. Yeah, Derek here trying to blow it up in the middle of the night, right? Not realizing, and you're half tired, so you're you're already frustrated because you gotta make it to where you can, sleep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why. See, our pop-up was made the same year Tommy was born. And it was his brother's pop-up. And then we ended up with it. And so, yeah, it's been in the family since 1980, which is the year that his brother was born and the year I was born. And so, yeah, that pop-up is going to get a makeover.
Gotta love those colors going on.
The colors aren't that bad, actually.
Oh, good.
But I also love the 50s, 60s, and 70s decor. So it doesn't bother me any. Except for because, so we had the pop-up out by my mom and dad's, and the mice got in and chewed up one of the cushions, so we have to fix that. But we're going to make that all from scratch. So
sounds very ambitious of you.
Yeah, well, the only way I know how to sew is by hand, not by a sewing machine. So
that was something that shocked my children. I don't own a sewing machine. I do have my mother's, but it's been around from the 60s. It kind of works. You can't actually do anything with it. Anyway, I had borrowed a sewing machine to make a cape for Ian, and my kids were like, "You know how to sew?" And I learned how to sew as a kid, and but my mother, she didn't do so much sewing by the time I came along, because with me being the youngest. But my older two sisters, they had matching dresses, and my oldest son's grandmother, she'd go get a bolt of polyester. What was it, $5? I don't know. Who knows who remembers how much a bolt of polyester was in the 70s? But all four kids had matching outfits because, you did it for, economic reasons. And she was actually my grandma too. both Ian's grandma and my grandma, amazing seamstresses. Not something you find so much anymore.
I'm glad I grew up with brothers.
I know the basics of sewing and I can do craft things, but that's it. That's, or like I said, I did a cape, but that was just, a costume thing. And so, yeah, I don't know how to do serious sewing.
Yeah, I can make a mean curtain.
There you go. Make a curtain.
I mean, I can fix like pillows and stuff like that. I can fix holes in clothes, but like, don't ask me to make an outfit, because I'll tell you right now, you are better off going to the store and having somebody else do it.
Well, fabric is really expensive now. It's cheaper to buy clothes than it is to make your own.
Before all this stuff happened with COVID, our thrift store, it was like you can get 8 yards for like $1. Now to get 8 yards, it's like $20 some. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. So ridiculous. And then it's not even a full 8 yards. You open it up to see, and it's got like big old dips in it. And I bought some fabric to use over the bird cages, and for like when they're getting really loud and stuff like that. It said it was 8 feet by, what was it, by something. Okay. So it was supposed to be pretty big, and I figured I could cut it in half, put one over Pickle's cage. I could put one over the parakeet's cage. I get it home. Didn't think to look at it. Not at all. I get it home. I take it out. And, I know why I didn't, because it was stapled together with the little price tag. And so I was like, crap, So I was like, so I got it home, and it was this wide by like 8 feet. It was not as described, man. It was not as
that would just be crafting.
I was so mad. Oh, was I so mad?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was. I am doing good. How are you doing, Heather? Fluffy was asking how everyone is today.
Hanging in there. Yep. Last week, I'm trying to pull out of brain dead mode, but last week it was about 10 days. I watched 7 seasons. I gave you updates of Mad Men. It was a total of 92 episodes. So I'm going to be more productive this week, I'm telling myself.
Yeah, we binge watched. I've been binge watching Roswell. And before that, we binged watched Jericho.
Never seen either of those.
Let me tell you, Jericho was awesome. I was so mad at how they ended it.
And
then they canceled the series. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand why they canceled the series. It was a good series. So I won't go into the conspiracy theory. I don't know what I was told.
And then I do the thing, if I'm watching something, then I have to go online and learn about the actors and, go on YouTube and watch interviews. And anyway, I'm hoping maybe it'll spark a story idea in me. I actually, it has. We'll see if it gets anywhere. What I have been thinking of, and if I can come up with a complete premise, then I'll work on it.
Here says put a comfy mattress topper. Otherwise, those beds are killer. Yes, they are. But we have one on our regular bed, and let me tell you, I don't want to get up in the morning. Those are wrong things to tell me to buy. Let me tell you.
Mhm.
Oh, did I? Okay, I did. Okay, just double checking. And then Perlini says, speaking of snow, we are getting some tomorrow. We're supposed to
Good
get some
luck.
tonight.
Um,
We're going to be getting some snow soon. Well, it's supposed to start already, so I don't know. I haven't looked outside, but there's this big winter storm thing that's in our area, and it's supposed to be severe. And it was supposed to start at 6, but we were out and about at 6, and it didn't start yet.
I'm laughing at what JC wrote.
Oh, I haven't gotten there yet. Okay, let me hurry up here. Funky Fluffy, which is in the UK, says it's been snowing here for a few hours. Helene says, I hate freezing while camping. Yeah, that's why you have a big fire, and I can loop, swoop, and pull over and over until the bottom is secure for the day. Wait, what? What was
Talking
that?
about, that's what JC, he can sew buttons back on. That's the extent of his sewing.
Oh, I can sew buttons too. I can sew buttons too. That's
I never do. I could figure it out, but I don't think I ever have.
Oh, well, I'll never forget going motorcycle riding, camping in a Volkswagen van, freezing my butt off. I want one of those Volkswagen vans.
I told Perlini that she was a hippie. I totally would have been a hippie had I been born at the right time for that.
Yeah, I would have been a good hippie. I actually would have been a better gypsy.
I do remember, like, I couldn't tell you any specific stories, but I do remember that there were hippies in San Francisco when I was a kid. And then it went to, well, they're still there, both hippies and punk rockers. And because I remember seeing them. But Salt Lake had a pretty strong punk pop collection in the 80s as well. So
my biological was a hippie. You'll never believe what my name was supposed to be. My name was originally supposed to be Sunshine Sunrise.
That's stupid.
You're telling me I would have legally changed it as soon as I could.
And yet, my sister.
Thank God he wasn't at the hospital the day I was born, because my mom immediately filled the paperwork out and named me Destiny.
Yeah, my sister, who's in Southern California, she told me someone's name that she met. I think it's a coworker, and I'm like, were their grandparents hippies? And she's like, yep. But she went out with a guy for a while. Back in the 90s, his parents were hippies, and his name was Orion. And yeah, when she met him, she's like, parents were hippies, right? Because there's still in some places in California, there's still the hippie presence,
Right.
And
just have to make a mental note to leave the cheesecake alone. Oh, see, that would be hard in this house.
Oh, cheesecake would last for minutes only here.
Yeah. Tommy couldn't make a mental note. It'd be gone before he could even have a chance to write the mental notes.
Right. And oh, wild. Southern California. So I have to ask my sister if, because I can't remember. My sister's down there somewhere that I should remember the name. It's not complicated yet. It always slips my mind. We grew up in the Bay Area. Well, I was there till I was in junior high.
I love some of the comments in chat. That's so awesome. The best sports do have soft removable walls so that you can use the walls to jump over the lava and the sheet to help you float. I remember doing that as a kid. JR Care says there are so many series I want to watch. So the other day I was in a store and they had a Amazon Prime on, and they were watching this TV series called Atlantis. So I'm going to check that out. It's like the Lost City of Atlantis, but it's called
Okay.
Atlantis.
Is
So I'm
it
gonna check that out.
Is it the Stargate Atlantis?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
No, I
I
saw that
watched the
one.
first Stargate, and I should watch the Atlantis one just because Jason Momoa is in it. And
I'll have to check that out too. I like them as Aquaman.
and yeah. Hey, you know what? I think I have it on DVD somewhere. And really, there's no reason to have the volume on because the movie sucked. But just watching. Marvel movies are far better than the DC movies, but I do want to see WW84.
I just saw JRKR said, why do these parents want their kids to get teased? I don't know. Why would you name your child Apple? I don't get it.
People think that they're clever and try to watch Outlander. You can. I've seen the first 2 seasons on Netflix a couple times over. I listened to all of the books so far. I hope the series ends soon. It's been painful. Just get it over with. Although I would have to say for Outlander, the show is better than the books. Diana Gabaldon is not what you would call an excellent author. But she does have a good imagination and she researches her history. Those things I appreciate.
I'm sorry, I missed it. I was trying to pull something up.
I'm just ranting about Outlander.
Oh, Donna Grant.
And that no, Diana Gabaldon, the Outlander, the one that's on Stars. I think it's on Stars. Yeah, no, you could cut out hundreds of pages from her books and still not miss out on anything. I'm not one for taking the long way around the block. I like a story that just gets to it.
Yeah. Okay, so talking about strange names, they have one that's called Bluebell Madonna. Daisy Dove, which I don't mind Daisy, but Dove is a weird one. Ment. Somebody named their kid Ment. Blue Ivy. Sir. Somebody named their kid Sir. Yeah, I mean, they're Little X. A poor kid.
My brother, he lived in Oakland. So my family's kind of gone back and forth between Utah and California, except for me. I came here and stayed. But Oakland is very diverse culturally. And oh my gosh, the names. He has some hilarious stories. Yes, I am laughing at you, JC. And they're names that I don't know. You've got to be on acid to come up with some of those names. But then there's the Utah names that are just like, oh, really? It's kind of like wherever this kid goes, people are going to know they're from Utah. You can look up lists online of Utah names. And it's not so much that they're strange names necessarily, but the spelling. I gave my kids traditional names with traditional spellings, but not overdone names,
Yeah,
and like Heather.
You're not me. If you tease my kids, all hell would break loose. Yep, for sure. Even JC said for sure, same here. Joseph has a regular name. But Jasmine,
but yeah, a traditional.
His is a traditional name. But my daughter, hers is Jaslyn, and so, but her name was actually a combination name, and so So sometimes I can see where some strange names come into play. Maybe there's, two names put together from a family or something, but like Apple Blanket. Yeah. Michael Jackson named one or called one of his kids Blanket.
Very bizarre.
Yeah. So, I mean, who knows exactly what the reason parents call their kids the names they do, but it's not something I personally would do. Honestly, it's not something I would personally do. And in every generation in my family for a few generations back, I don't know exactly how far back, but the name Caroline has been passed down to somebody in the next generation.
Yeah, that's in mine. My middle name is Jeanette, and that was my mother's middle name, and I passed it on to my daughter, and that was her mother's first name, and then my grandma said that there's Jeanettes buried in Scotland, and and the funny story about that is that the spelling changed somewhere between my great grandma and me, and I didn't know this till I was at the cemetery with my mom and grandma. So this was like 30 years ago or 25 years ago, whatever. After like 5 years ago, it's all a big blur. But anyway, so I'm standing there looking at the headstone. I'm like, when did the spelling change? And my mom and grandma could never come to an agreement on when the spelling changed.
Yeah, see, and so my grandma's name is Caroline. My mom's name is Carol. My grandmother spells hers with a C. My mom's name, Carol, is spelled with a K. So none of my cousins wanted to name their kids or have that name intertwined with any of their kids. I did because I like tradition that way. And so I combined my grandmother's name and my mom's name together. So I used the K for my mom's name and my grandmother's name for my daughter's middle name.
There you go.
So it's spelled different, but it's still the same name. And it's still continuing with the generations. So, gotcha. And I don't remember which one of my cousins has the middle name Caroline either.
Funky Fluffy lives in Scotland. That's awesome. That is, that is one place I do want to see. Like, that's at the top of my list of places I'd like to go. I know that, I think, who was it? People in my grandma's family traveled over to Scotland to do continue the genealogy. But yeah, I do. Oh, and I own a square foot in Scotland. My daughter bought it for me for my birthday a few years back. I even have official paperwork if I can find where I put it. It's in a tin. It's really awesome. It surfaces once in a while, and then I put it somewhere I'll remember where it is, and then it gets lost again. But she was worried that I thought it was going to be dumb. I thought it was totally awesome that she did that for me. So I'm a lady of a castle that I remember that much. I'll look for it and show everyone next week. But so we're at the 1.5 hour mark.
Yes, we are. Let me run through real quick and see if.
And yes,
hello. He says my last name ruins a lot of names for kids. I doubt that. My daughter's middle name and last name rhyme, and I didn't realize that until I yelled her name one day when she was older. And I was like, oh, I was wrong. I just made that rhyme. That's not good.
Oh, yeah, that was something I checked. I thought about all. My oldest son was going to have a different name than what we went with. Joseph, but I always had to make sure it didn't rhyme.
Joseph's name, his first and middle name, turns him into something like a girl. He is named after my dad who raised me. His middle name is Dean. So when I yell Joseph Dean, it comes out Josephine. because I yell it so loud
Yeah.
and so fast that it comes out Josephine, and I feel
That
really
is
bad
funny.
for that, but not really.
That
think
is
it's
very funny.
He had a
Yes.
cousin. He actually had a cousin that had a speech impediment, so she couldn't say Joseph, so she called him Josephine. I don't know why it was easier for her to say that than Joey or Joe or Joseph, but
Strange.
time she would say it, it would come out Josephine. She was the only one that was allowed to call him that because he knew that she couldn't pronounce his name right. And he knew that it wasn't because she was picking on him or making fun of him. That's just how she was able to say his name. So she was the only one that was allowed to do that. And then, yeah, I'm like, whoops, my bad. Sorry, Joey.
And that I think all men, I've met women who don't have middle names, but I don't know if I've ever met a man that doesn't have a middle name here.
Your dad didn't have a middle name, did he? Tommy's dad didn't have a middle name. And he was Italian?
Italian and German.
But he didn't have a middle name.
And Perlini has a granddaughter, is Perlina.
Mm-hmm.
That's cute.
Yeah, very much so.
Angelina is a very pretty name.
Angelina. Did I say that right, Perlini? Angelina? Because we have a friend that's daughter's name is Angelina. I hope that's how I'm saying that right, because I've never seen it spelled out. I just know it from since she was little. JC said was always teased in school about my middle name.
How did they know your middle name?
Because some teachers like to call you by your full name in school when they're roll calling.
And Dwayne, do you hear your dog? He wants you to come feed him. He's
just hello, Marie. She says that Justin's middle name is just the letter D.
Yeah, I've known of
my maiden name. I wish that my family would have kept my original maiden name, which was Dennison, but it was changed because when my grandfather came over and was raised by the Meeks family, when he got married, he changed his last name to Meeks, but actually it's supposed to be Dennison, which is Irish. His mother was full-blooded Irish. And so anyway, when I was growing up, I had a teacher that used first, middle, and last name. And my first, middle, and last name spells the word damn.
Yeah, people whose initials are an acronym in them.
Yeah. So I was damned if I do and damned if I don't. I was just born that way. Hey, Dwayne, that might be what's wrong with me.
And see, and right now, I think he just fed the dog, so I don't know if he caught that, if he's back.
I know. I'll hear about it later. Fluffy says, I have two first names as my full name. My heritage is Greek.
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah, I know that there are certain heritages that they don't believe in a middle name. You get two first names, you get three first names.
Germany, they will give several names.
Yeah, Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy's dad was Italian and German, and he had one name but no middle name. Right? Yeah. He had one name, one first name. Your dad, he had his first name, no middle name, but he didn't have a hyphenated first name.
Good night, JRKR.
He did. Yeah, I don't think he did.
And yeah, I have a friend who his mother's from Germany, and his as you go through all these names, they get less and less attractive, unfortunately.
Thank you for joining us, JRKR. Have a beautiful night.
And well, we've done our Southern goodbye now.
Yeah, we have. So we will see you guys next week, 8 p.m. Central Time, back here. There will be a new opening, and I'll be working on that this week. I ended up not being able to work on it this past week, but I will be working on it this week, and a new thumbnail. So have to watch out.
Very cool. Very awesome.
I still have to find a really good picture of you because the ones that I found, they're not wanting to work for me, so I have to get a really good picture. So we're gonna have a new thumbnail. And
hey, there's one of me back in the 80s with my big hair.
You don't want me to put an 80s picture of me up. I was too young. That wouldn't work for me. But again, thank you everybody for joining us. Much love. Remember, in this family, you do not fight alone. Also, you are worth it. Don't give up. And if you need us, you know where to find us. With that, much love. Do you have anything you want to close off with, Heather?
I see that Perlini says, I love Natalie. That is my daughter's name. Dwayne and I argued all through the pregnancy, and then we have two different other names, and then we ended up with Natalie. Yeah. So, yeah, she likes her name. That's what counts the most. All my kids like their names, so I was happy they had that. Of course, I was going to say Flunky Fluffy.
It's okay, it's okay.
So, yeah, we'll have something to talk about next week, and maybe we'll even have a good story to share. Who knows? Maybe I'll actually do something more than marathoning TV shows.
Sounds good. We'll see you guys later. Bye.